Thank you for joining me today. I want to talk about a point of confusion that's arisen about the terms record suspension versus pardon under Canadian criminal law. What's the difference? Is there any difference, and how does this apply? And I want to talk a little bit about the procedure for this. So first of all, in March 13, 2012, they brought in new legislation, so they effectively changed the term pardon to what we now call record suspension. You can really think of them as the same terms. They just change the name effectively. And what does a pardon or record suspension mean? It means if you successfully apply to the parole board to have your criminal record suspended, used to be called a pardon, it means it's set aside. It's not on the Canadian Police Information Center computer, so it won't show up in a criminal record check. And they keep it separate and apart on another computer where no one can see it except certain government officials, for example, a Crown Attorney. So this is very important. So that was changed in 2012, and we now call it record suspension. Everyone still calls it a pardon, frankly. No, the name hasn't really caught on, but it really means that your record, it doesn't erase your record, it just means it's kept separate apart so it's not searchable, which is a great thing because you can get a job and not worry about your record following you around. Now, a couple points. First of all, if you get a subsequent conviction, let's say you're convicted again, well, the parole board will generally revoke your record, your pardon or suspension. It'll go back on the CPIC system. So that's not a good thing. So it's very important in the new procedure as well. It used to be that you could apply 3 years after a summary conviction sentence ended and 5 years after indictable. Now, unfortunately, it's longer period. It's 5 years after your summary conviction sentence ends and 10 years after your indictable offense. You can start the application process before. I'd recommend you start it about a year before gathering the fingerprints. There's an expense to it and it's quite involved. But it's a great thing for people because they can effectively remove their criminal record from the system and set it aside. Now, it's not automatic. The parole board will consider each individual case, but by and large, they will grant pardons in the proper case. There's no question about that. It's a time-consuming process. It takes time. You may or may not want to hire a lawyer or a paralegal to do that type of work. So there you have it. A pardon is still effectively now called a record suspension. I don't call it that still. I wish I could get used to the terminology, but that's the proper terminology. Your record is kept in suspense, set aside from what's searchable under the Canadian Police Information Center computer database. And that is what means when your employer does a criminal record check, that's the database that's used, so you'll come up clear. Thank you for watching our video. We are absolutely committed to bringing you the best possible criminal and DUI educational videos. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've been charged with a criminal offense in Ontario and require our services, please click on the link in the description below.